Game number 2 gonna be on Deadwing. This one I want to say is gonna be the number 2 applicant, or the second place winner for build order losses in PvP. But if the spawn positions are anything like they were in puCK versus Max Ed, and it looks like that is indeed the case, then I think Top will probably not have so much an easy chance getting away with a build order loss versus puCK here in the lower right. But I have been wrong before. There we go. Boom. Best of 3. ZooTop. Up 1 point. Production tab. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now, I must admit, this is my first time actually ever knowing about this little add-on to the Garlic interface. Although I've been using it for quite a while now. It's actually Digmouse Saving Esports that showed me this little extension, I guess you could call it. Alright, so thus far, no shenanigans, no proxies, no gateways in the middle of the map, nothing of that nature. But let's check and make sure we're on the right window for XSplit. Indeed we are. Good, 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 good. I want to make sure I got the music on. There we go. Game music is on. Okay, gateway from both sides, perfectly normal. I'm stopping to think for a minute, I mean... Everyone who comes here is a winner, but at the same time, I think... How do I say this? The qualifiers for these tournaments were a little bit rigorous in and of themselves. I did actually just... That's what I'm looking for. I processed a 16-player single elimination bracket on... what do you call that? Okay, this is where I admit I'm having trouble thinking because of the guy casting to my right, but yeah. Okay, it was a 16-player single elimination bracket that I had published on Binary Beast, and I really think, like, you know, puCK came in as the strongest contender. He really did. I was kind of hoping that QXC would make it through because we needed a few more Terrans, and Bunny made it through, but unfortunately due to medical issues at the last minute, he could not attend this tournament. And this looks like it has the air of game number 1 just a little bit if you are looking at this from puCK's perspective. He sees that his opponent is saving Chrono Boost. He's already got a second gateway. So at this point, I think we could either see a Twilight Council or a third gateway go down and just a straight up 3-gate forward pressure using nothing but stalkers. There's a sentry on the way from puCK. This is one thing I've noticed that's kind of the highlight of his PvP play. He prefers defensive play style, and this is what Top wanted to see. He wanted to see if it was going to be a sentry or if it was going to be a stalker coming out of that gateway. And now he's got the knowledge that he needs. Okay. So thus far, there it is, the Twilight Council yet again. So Top is going with that old phrase, I guess you could call it, lightning never strikes twice in the same place. But both players are sending their mothership cores at each other. They're gonna collide, well, not really collide, but talking about. Okay, so ZooTop's just gonna keep an eye on puCK's mothership core as it crosses the map. And his own stalker's gonna come back to try and intercept that. He's trying to deny scouting is what he's trying to do, but I like this move from puCK. He saw this in game number 1, so he's gonna go ahead and react to it immediately by throwing down a robo. By doing that, you can't really go wrong. He's trying to get something out that's going to counteract Blink stalkers, and I guess you could say he's just really going with his gut. That's all he's doing at this stage. As you can see, he has not seen the Twilight Council. This is all just, I guess you could say, a bit of a guess, or going with his, that's what I'm looking for, his gamer sense. So now the robo's done. First unit out would typically be an observer. Is that going to be the case here for puCK? He's floating 300 resources. He's not supply blocked. I can't tell why he hasn't done that. And of course, his Phoenix goes in, he scouts that. Immediately, he's going to go ahead and make an immortal, a single immortal for the time being. So that mothership core from Top, it just wasted so much time out here in the middle of nowhere, and it got, I don't think, any updated scouting information on our IvD Protoss. Out. Excuse me. Feeling so much better than I did yesterday, to be honest with you guys. puCK is in a good position right now. He gets away with the knowledge of what his opponent is doing. But in response, he goes ahead and gets his own Blink Stalkers started, but they're going to be done much, much later than that of ZooTop's. And with that in mind, Top is not going to commit to any more forward attacks. He's not going to follow this up with a Dark Shrine, at least not immediately. It would out front, wants to get into a defensive position with all those Stalkers. You know, based on the fact, hold on just a minute. Okay, there we go. puCK's resumed producing probes. I was about to say, I thought maybe for a minute he wasn't going to go for a natural expansion, which means all-in mode. 100% full beast puCK mode. But that might not have been such a great idea. Come over here. This is kind of weird. Okay. Well, I guess that's a common place to put a pylon once you stop and think about it. Probe there was just now shut down. There's no observer here from top, so he has no way to know whether his opponent is moving out or whether he's taking an expansion. But at this point, I think he's just gonna go in and poke with his Blink Stalkers. That he did see. And the immortal count right now is simply too high for top to really dive in on what he's got at this moment. Okay. Is he really going to try that? Guardian Shield goes up. Just poking with the Stalkers. Not really full-blown diving on anything just yet. The Immortal's getting a little bit out of position there, but puCK recommands them to go back to the natural, I guess you could say. Meanwhile, workers get pulled to the natural, and top is going for some Colossi in the background. As of course, you can see the Robo facility going down in the background. Guardian Shield goes up again, and top backs off for just a few moments. Just stop and think about it. He's spending a lot of energy. Force fields are not quite so useful in this position unless your opponent blinks on top of you, and it's a real mistake, if that makes sense. Okay. Double gas is at the natural now here from our Zenith of Origin Protoss. He's up 1 point. He's got a big lead in this game. He forces a Nexus cannon out of the Nexus at the natural. That's actually pretty big. He's not going to have that energy for another 100 seconds in game time, if I'm not mistaken. And on top of that, he's kind of being chased home. I'm wondering if this was... No, it couldn't be. Well, puCK's got a larger army supply, so I want to say that not only... This is kind of a good idea to push back right now, because his opponent's going to have to sacrifice probes if he really wants to hold in this position. Look, he's got 40, at least presently. If the army supplies continue to grow like they are at this moment... Oh my god. I'm sorry, I just missed that. Was that... Whose Mothership Core was that? That was Top's. He just lost it. Oh man, and guess what? Behind this... puCK did not see that pylon. Here comes the big engagement. Both sides have Immortals. The question is, who's got the higher numbers? There's more Stalkers here, I believe, for puCK than there are for top. Definitely by a decent fraction. Looks about 5/8 more. Observer gets picked off, so there's no way that we can see puCK really just safely dive onto all of that. He's going to send in the Zealots to work on the probe line. He's working his way onto the assimilator. He might be able to blink forward and get that one Stalker. I'm not sure if Extended Thermal Lance is done or not just yet. Blinks out of there just in time. Only loses Zealots, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me. Looks like puCK canceled that pylon. Top's going to have the high ground advantage here. He's going to use the Blink Stalkers. He's going to do it. He's going to do it while he sends the rest of his units back. This could be really risky. There's a pylon in the back door. He sees it. Not mistaken. There we go. Big blink into the main. He's going to get that Robo. He's going to stop the Colossus from being made. And then I think he's just going to blink out, doing the safest move possible. But he doesn't have any vision of what's coming at him right now. It would definitely be a good idea. Getting that Cybernetics core would be huge, but can he do it or not? There's going to be a mass recall. Oh my god! He just got away with... Excuse me. He just got away with... killing his opponent's methods of killing, or excuse me, producing units that are specialized at killing Stalkers. That means other Stalkers, Immortals, Colossi, they're not going to be in the game until we see those structures rebuilt. The Robo, and of course, what else is there? The Cybernetics Core has to be rebuilt on top of that. Where on earth is it? Did he totally miss that? There it is. No, okay, I totally missed it. That's what's up. Templar Archive's going down behind us as well. And it looks like puCK is going at it yet again. Only a handful of Stalkers actually blinking into the main. Oh no, the rest of them are in so much trouble. Oh man. Okay, but a handful blink into the main to get some probe kills. They're targeting them down one at a time. Getting the ones on gas would be a little bit more precious, but it looks like that might not happen here. Okay. Now he just stops microing those Stalkers altogether. He's got a hold against the rebellion that will be coming in the form of Zenith of Origin's top. That's 110 army, excuse me. That is 75 army supply coming at him. A lot of it is in Zealots. That's a lot of tank. He doesn't have so much in the way of AoE just yet. And there comes a scout from top to get an idea of just what he's facing off against. Guess what? There's an Archon in the mix too. That's a ton of tank. That's so much tank. It's just going to be Blink Stalkers, Immortals, and a couple of Sentries. The Sentries will almost be null factors except for the Guardian Shield. There is one Colossus in the mix, and there's a second one coming across the map right now for our Zenith of Origin, Protoss. This is not looking good for puCK. The Nexus Cannon goes down. 2 Colossus versus 2. But guess what? ZooTop already has extended Thermal Lance. Oh, the Stalker's getting caught out just a little bit. This is really frightening if you are puCK right now. Got a big, hungry set of teeth parked outside of your main. He's trying to break out. He's trying to find a way to break out. And it looks like breaking down the rocks might be a way. Top has a full energy Mothership Core. It's being targeted down right now by the Nexus Cannon, but a Time Warp goes down. Only a single Time Warp, not a second one or anything else of that nature. And I think if I was in puCK's position, I might be tempted to use that Nexus Cannon to actually target down my enemy's Colossi, but I don't know if that's going to happen here. Nexus Cannon number 2 goes down. 3 Colossus here from our IvD Protoss. He does have extended Thermal Lance right now, so he's got just as much attack range as his opponent. But he's got a couple more Colossus. If he can just hold on and wait until maybe 2 more pop out, he's good to go. And speaking of, guess what? One just popped out. There's another one on the way. Double Robo back at home. A handful of Blink Stalkers will be going out to try and shut down the third, maybe get some harass done at the natural. At this stage, I want to say Blink Stalkers are not a total null factor, but they start to lose their edge just a bit because just about everything here can kill them in just a handful of shots. There we go, blinking in, getting the Mothership Core. Nice. Charge lots are here to clean up, or at least try. Blink into the main. And more charge lots are warping in. Looks like puCK is going to try and take a third while simultaneously trying to shoo this army away. But this army might just catch some of those Stalkers out of position. Scouting Phoenix going down in the background. Pylon shut down. And top gets a scout, a thorough read into that third base. The question is he going to try and do anything about it? Yes, top does have a slight army supply advantage of about 7. Nice blink on top of those Stalkers. Only picks up 1. But I don't think I don't think top realizes that his opponent has double Colossus production. You know, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. There's another warp in coming in here, just annoying the crap out of that natural mineral line. He does have vision of both of the Robos. Does he realize it though? That's the real question. Alright, Forge going down. Third base established for just about both players. Just about. This one took a little bit of heat, but not too terribly much. And puCK is looking like he might actually surpass top. He's actually a little bit past top in the way of army supply, but top, if I'm not mistaken, is in possession of a lead on upgrades. That's right, there's not even a single forge coming from puCK. Alright. His own forge just finished up. He's going to have a warp prism in the background as well. As you can see, it's finishing up over here. And charge is just about ready to go. 2 Colossus are hallucinations in the forward position. That's a lot of tank coming from our IvD Protoss. Look at this. The concave is looking sick. Absolutely disgusting. The warp prism on its way. The third is slated to fall from ZooTop, who was just a few minutes ago on the edge of victory. Time Warp catches a lot of those units out, actually scares them off as opposed to really doing any damage. This one Hero Tempest going to try and come in here and target down the Colossus one by one. The Warp Prism coming in here. Not quite acting as a total active factor. The supply now is 146 to 98, 92, 90, and plummeting if you're ZooTop. Mothership Core just fell for one side, if not the other. He's using the Warp Prism here to actually micro the Colossus. And it looks like ZooTop is desperately trying to keep his Colossi alive versus the Zealots that are on the ground. Nice little SimCity, I guess you could say, or rather an angle that works against them. But the natural will fall, and I don't think there's any defending this if you are a Zenith of Origin Protoss. The natural has just fallen, and with that, we see puCK come back in game number 2.